Bring back the culture. Bring back the culture.
The water has been an important component of our cultural history, and it remains so to this day. Whether it's for catching fish with a fry net, as seen in this illustration, where the net is thrown in the water and then pulled in to see if there are fries in it. This tradition continues across the territory. The fry is used for various bait and even fry cakes that can be purchased at various cultural fairs. Then of course we have the practice of scene fishing. Scene fishing is common still throughout the different islands of the territory, particularly in East End, West End, and on Virgin Gorda. The fishes are caught and then they are pulled into the boat for their catch to be taken onto land. They are placed into the front of the boat and into a cooler, from where they will be kept fresh as they return to land. Then you have on a small scale, though still practice, the practice of mending nets. This is a balloon net that is being mended. When it's on dry land, any fish that is caught in it, rats can go and eat the fish, which will cause a hole, needing it to be mended before it can go back out to catch more fishes. And then you have the practice of bracing a fish pot. Fish pots have a funnel where a fish can only enter, but he or she cannot get out, and it's a one-way trap in the fish pot. Pulling a fish pot is another tradition that continues to this day, as well as the practice of diving conchs. Conchs are a staple of our Virgin Islands diet. There's also a season for catching conch, and it's illegal to catch conch outside those particular times. And making wooden boats is still one of the traditions that is handed down. There the wood was put in the water so that it can be bent to make the plank, which will eventually be shaved and put together and then caulked to make the boat. And the tradition continues in Carrot Bay of cooking fresh fish, lobster, wilk, shellfish, conch, anything that can be catch fresh is brought to the land and never touches ice. This is a time-honored tradition that has been handed down for generations. While fish is being cooked, some are being boiled, some are being roasted, as well as roasted shellfish, boiled conchs, and boiled wilks. All these traditions continue throughout the year once the weather is cooperative. Shellfish are a major staple of our diet that continues to this day. Then there's the wilk, lobster, crab, conch, or whatever comes out of the sea that can be boiled, and of course nothing tastes like a good wilk. Eating wilks is a delicacy that goes along with the tradition. Well, now is a good time to test your wilk knowledge. Which is the male, which is the female? The green one is the male, the white one is the female, as explained. Selling one's catch from the scene also continues on the roadsides, and these can be seen all around Tortola, from Rotown to Carrot Bay and throughout communities. And there's also the tilling of the soil, which is prepared for fruits and vegetables in various communities across the territory. The practice of coal pit making continues to this day. Wood is first cut and placed in different strips before dirt is put on it to cover it up. Once it's covered, then it's lit. After it's lit and it catches, bush is put onto the hole to cover it up with more dirt going on it, and then it's left for several days to heat up, or to cook as you would call it. Then as days go by, you start picking and raking out the coals. Segments of it can be exposed to air, causing a fire. coal is dug out and put in buckets and then thrown in a pan, and they're sold based on a pan of coal. Then of course there's the tart making, a variety of the precious commodity, whether it's coconut, guava, pineapple, whatever fruit you can get, it can be turned into a tart, and they are commonly sold across the territory. Of course, which is the biggest tart? Who knows? Then of course there's cassava bread making. That's a tedious process, as we've been told, to make cassava bread. It is used with a brush, put on a pan, it's flattened, it's turned over until it's ready, and it is nice and brown. When it gets nice and brown, you know that it's ready to be used. And of course, who can forget baking in the outdoor oven? No bread tastes like that from an outdoor oven. Those breads have a unique taste, and they are heated to perfection, unlike those in the supermarket. This tradition continues still to this day in communities across Tortola, though at a much smaller scale. But these breads are a sight to behold, and they are electrifying to the various taste buds. Like the cassava bread, oven bread goes through a process. It is rolled, kneaded, it rises before it gets put in the oven to bake. And the taste, good. Straw work is an important component of our culture as well. There were from 3 to 11 splits, and these were used to make hats, put around bottles, all kind of decorations, bags and the likes, which continue to this day. There's also crocheting that is done with a variety of colorful cloths. We encounter culture bearers, which are those who pass down tradition and their stories throughout generations. Their faces and warm souls offers a sneak peek into the living history of this culture, or Virgin Islands culture. Family, the cornerstone of society, is celebrated with love and togetherness. As generations dine together, they pass on the flavors of their culture throughout time-honored recipes. Culture brings us together as a people. It makes everyone happy that traditions are still being kept alive. It also reminds people of their childhood days. As we move forward, may we continue to celebrate and preserve the precious gift of culture, ensuring that it thrives for generations to come. The BVI, where tradition meets paradise. Endless opportunities beyond your imagination. So Velma, you live in the culture today?
Bring back our culture today. Millions are spent on festival, music fest and other carnival. Cultural aspect is gone. Stop offering lip service, stop treating this art form, it's gone. And make sure that Fungi lives on. Let me hear you, bring back the culture.